Everybody, welcome back. On this time, we'll be introducing you to Yellow Power Down deck. So this deck mainly has one function only, to power the shit down out of your opponent's Digimon. Right, so without further ado, we'll just jump straight into the deck build. So first of all, we have Tokomon. So right, Tokomon ESS skill is basically whenever during your turn something gets reduced to power 0 power, that Digimon gets 1 additional K power. Alright, so it sort of like grants you power at the same time while it benefits from getting the opponent down to 0 and then you get power, right? So I play 4 only, 4 Digitamas on this. For the last one, you can pretty much add anything you want. So because Tokomon, in my opinion, is the main character for the main Digitama for this deck, right? Then we'll go to our rookies. So for rookies, since this is a powered down deck, first of all, we play 4 Patamon. So basically what he does as an ESS is that whenever something gets reduced power to 0, you gain 1 additional memory, right? So that's Patamon. Next, we have 4 Labramon. So Labramon is also same. Whenever something gets power reduced to 0, for Patamon, he gives you 1 memory, whereas for Labramon, you get 1 draw. So that's where your draw power is from. So basically, so far as you have seen, they all benefit from having your opponent's power Digimon getting reduced to 0. And last but not least, we have Plotmon from BTO3, the rarest one, that as an ESS, basically the skill is when attacking, choose one of your opponent's Digimon and it loses 1k power, right? So 1, 2, and Patamon, Labramon, and Tokomon benefits from having 0 power, whereas Plotmon or Salamon is part of the reduction power team, right? So that's for our rookies. Next, for our champions, we have, well, first of all, we have 3 vanillas. So why is this here? So as you can see, hardcast is 3-2. So what this does is, if you compare to my rookies is all hardcast 3-3. So that's 12 plus another 3 more, that's 15 cards which you can generally afford to just hardcast just like that. I would consider him as sort of like a rookie but half champion at the same time, since he has such a low hardcasting cost. So I play 3. Next, we have 4 Ankylomon. So basically when he comes out from security zone, you may just play him straight away without casting anything. So it's an additional unit, additional attacker just like that on his own, Ankylomon. And last but not least, we play 4 Gatomon, similar with Plotmon. The ESS allows you when attacking, choose 1 Digimon and minus an additional 1k. Next, after this, we go into our ultimates. So basically this deck, if built correctly with the correct line, you can potentially destroy something as big as Omegamon, also something 15k. I'll show you how it's done later. Right, so we go on. We have 4 Injamon or Holy Injamon from the starter deck. Same thing, same with Plotmon and Gatomon. When attacking, minus 1k power. So with all 3, at the mega level, you're potentially easily minusing 3k power from 1 Digimon already. So that normally stops almost all rookies, as long as your opponent has a rookie on the field. By playing these 3 cards and attacking, you wipe out at least 1 rookie. Free destruction. And on top of that, Patamon gains skill from it, and Labramon allows you to draw. Next, comes to our main character, Silphymon. Right, so Silphymon is when evolution, choose one of your opponent level 4 and below and change its powers to 1k, and after that, it's also considered as a yellow. So essentially you can go into her and then after that evolve into a yellow on top of that. So what happens is she changes something to 1k, then you depend on either Gatomon or Plotmon to take out the remaining 1k, and boom bada boom, a blocker dies. Right. So finally, we come to our ultimates. So our ultimates is basically 3 slash Angemon. I play 3 slash Angel. And 3, I think this is what Clarice Angemon. And last but not least, 2 Kentarosmon. So first we have Slash Angemon. Upon evolution, choose one Digimon minus 8k, so he would generally take out almost all level 5s. Okay. Clarice Angemon, when you have 3 or less security, when you attack with him, choose one Digimon minus 6k. So if, as per earlier, if you have a Holy Angemon, a Plotmon, and a Gatomon, that is basically 6 plus 3, that's 9k. You take out something with 9k. Also, any level, almost every level 5 would just fall immediately. Last but not least, we have Kentarosmon. So Kentarosmon is a bit different from the rest of the deck, whereas the rest of the deck is very straightforward. Reduction in power. Kentarosmon is basically here in case if you get rushed, you go into him, reduce everything by, well, up to 5 Digimon by 2 securities. They lose 2 securities. And then, not to mention, the debuff remains even though if your opponent digivolve on top of that. So he potentially saves you 1 turn. And it's minus 2 security. Unless if your opponent is playing something like Red or Ragnarok, which gains like 3-4 security checks just from his evolution source. This thing at least minimizes your damage. On top of that, I will use Kentaros to suicide. Why? Because when he suicide, he is basically something like a pseudo Glorious Burst. Glorious Burst minus 12k. When he die, he chose something at minus 11k. So, how does this setup so far defeat something as big as Omegamon? The answer comes to within the option card themselves. So, first of all, since we're playing Silphymon Red, I play for this, right? So what it does is basically for 3 costs, you choose something with 4k and destroy it immediately. So what you can do is probably you can send your Kentarosmon to suicide, Omnimon minus 11k, or Omega, whoever, Omega, Imperial, or whatever, minus 11k, hard cast this, and there, bim bada boom, there goes the Omegamon. 15k, 11-4. Next, I call this the Kentaros option. Choose one Digimon, minus 3k, and they get minus 1 security. For if you were to hardcast it, then it will last until the end of the opponent's turn. So your turn, his turn, or her turn, and then they get back their security. Whereas if this comes up from the security check, they immediately, you choose one, minus 3k, and then 1 security check. So that's 1 less thing to attack, 1 less attack. Sort of, in a way, you can call it a blocker. Last but not least, for 7 Heavens. So the deck generally runs around power reduction, so we definitely can't go wrong with 7 Heavens, right? So how to kill big things like Omega? Let's put 15k as the threshold. In this deck, you have a few options. So let's run through our options first. I'll run through the combo on how to kill the big things. So earlier I mentioned, you definitely would play Kentaurus and your combo with this option card. So these two would net you 15k already. That's that. Another way of killing something big like Omegamon is you would have set up something like this. So you have Plotmon, you have Gatomon, then after that you have Holy Angemon, and last but not least, at this point you evolve into Slash Angemon, right? So you have you target Omega minus 8, minus 9, minus 10, minus 11. See that? On this line, it's minus 11. And then what do? You do this. And that's it. For 6 costs, Omega dies. This one, if you were to evolve this turn, attack, and then you cast this, also 6 costs, Omega dies. Another one, a bit more risky in my opinion, would be you could go for something smaller. Alright, so maybe you don't have this line, it's not perfect. You go for Clavismon. So Clavismon, when attacking, minus 6k. Then after that, 7 Heavens, 16k. There goes Omegamon. So while it takes a bit more setup to kill something big like Omegamon, this deck is built in such a way that you sort of kills like the level 5s or the level 4s before they hit into Omega. So you force them to maintain at the hatching zone for quite a while, and during that time you just keep hitting them, just rush them only before Omegamon comes up. So that comes to the end of our video. This is basically Yellow Power Down. It's a fun deck. It's a fun deck. So with the main character on Silphymon and basically the whole Power Down line. So this deck basically sort of mostly empties around level 5. When they go up to level 6, it gets a bit more difficult. But that's why we have a Kentaurus spell, which reduces their security. And we also play Kentaurus, which reduces their security. Buy us some time and let's see what we can do about it. Right. So that comes to the end of our video. Do leave a comment, like, share and subscribe if you find this content interesting and if you have learned something out of it, or perhaps leave a comment if you think there's certain things that in this deck that you might change or ways to improve further. Right? Thank you. The deck list will be posted at the end of the video. Bye!